Hey guys, it's Danielle with Take Care Mama, and today Tanya from Project Happy Home and I are talking about our kids and what triggers them. Be sure to check out Tanya's video. It will be linked in the description box below. She and I both have a son with ADHD, so we know a lot about triggers and the meltdowns that they can lead to. But with that being said, any kid has triggers and any adult has triggers as well. And this is actually part 1 of 2 of a little mini series. And the next one in a couple weeks is going to be on our triggers as a mom. So look out for that one. I honestly think that's even more important because it is something we have way more control over. It is so important to know what our children's triggers are because it will help us both prevent meltdowns. It will help us deal with them in a more effective way because we understand what's going on. And it just helps us become more objective and a little less emotional when dealing with our children. Because for most of us, when our children are triggered and react and have a meltdown, we become triggered. So we want to avoid that. If you didn't see the last video I did, it is on meltdowns and my system on dealing with them. I will link that video below, but I bring it up because also within that video is a little handout that will help you with this topic. So in that free handout that I have for you, I have an area for you to write down everything that happened, what time of day, what you were doing right before, just so you can start to develop patterns. And hopefully after you've done that, you can start to notice what triggers your child. I took to Instagram stories this afternoon. I'd love to have you follow me at Take Care Mama. And I asked you what your children's triggers are. And the good news is a lot of us have the same triggers in our children. I got a lot of duplicate answers, and many of them are things that also trigger my 6-year-old. So I'll go through some of them because maybe you will be able to relate to this. A common one is hunger. When our children are hungry, they get triggered. Me too. Hashtag me too. Fatigued. When our children are tired, they can get triggered. Another huge one is transitions. So transitioning between activities, transitioning between morning home time and school time, transitioning between a regular day to a vacation day or a play date with friends that is abnormal. Changes and transitions can be difficult for many kids. If the child is anxious about something, they can become in a triggered state. And then think about your children's 5 senses. So noise, some kids are triggered when there's a lot going on audibly, when there are loud noises. Some children are triggered when they have too much touch, and some are triggered when they don't have enough touch. Some are triggered visually. That is my son for sure. He gets really anxious in large crowds when there's a lot going on, just overstimulated visually and audibly. Hopefully those gave you some good ideas, and if you did the exercise from the last video, you might have distilled some other triggers of your child. So I invite you to set your timer for 10 minutes and do this really quick exercise. Hopefully we all have 10 minutes of our day. I did this earlier. So I want you to take a piece of paper and split it into 2 columns. And on the left side, write down all those triggers that you noticed from observing your child's meltdowns, and maybe I gave you some ideas just now that resonated with you. And then on the right-hand column, go through each trigger and write down either things you can do to prevent that trigger from happening or things you can do after it happens. So hunger is an easy one. If your child is easily triggered when they get overly hungry, you can have snacks in your purse at all times. And some things you can't help. So it's not like you're gonna prevent them, but you can come up with strategies. If, for instance, if we are going to the cabin with family, I know that my son is not going to get the same amount of sleep. And so I can do several things. I can try to get him to sleep a little extra on the days leading to it. I find changing his bedtime just 5-15 minutes earlier and kind of keep going each night, extending it earlier and earlier leading up to our cabin time can help. And sometimes you just can't do anything about it, and so you're not going to prevent it, but you will be kind of anticipating that it's going to be a little bit harder of a day, and that's going to hopefully help you stay non-emotional and non-triggered and deal with it better. I hope this is helpful. I hope you do the exercise. It all kind of goes into the R for be a reporter and observe your children in my Breathe system. That video will be linked below. I think it's so important that we do this work when we have some time alone and we are calm, because it really helps us, again, to be objective and non-emotional so that we can anticipate problems from the patterns that we have witnessed and stay non-emotional and non-judgmental, so that when our children are triggered and do get overly emotional, we can stay calm because we understand a little bit more about what is really going on. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe if you aren't subscribed. It really helps out my channel. Check out Tanya's video below. Thank you for being patient with my helper. I was running out of time. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and don't forget to take care, Mama. Can you say bye? Bye, guys. Are you an assistant?